All right, we are here tying up a foam Beetle. This is a UMC 001 hook, and I am tying this one in a size 14. And this is 140 denier black thread. And all I'm doing is coating the hook all the way down. Won't much matter about it being precise. Just giving everything something to grip onto. Like so. I'm going to stop about 3/4 of the way up the hook. And I'm going to take one black medium rubber leg. And I am going to fold it over so that we have a nice bend in it and a loop. And once I get that loop, I'm just going to tie that loop right about in that 3/4 spot. A couple loose wraps there in the very top. And then I start to add a little bit of pressure on the rubber and a lot more pressure on the line or the thread. And as I get back to the bend of the hook, I'm just going to kind of pull that nice and tight there and then work my way back up. I've got 2 legs tied in there. Then I'm just going to grab this little free piece right here. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to trim it close. Just like that. We have our 2 legs tied in now. And we are ready to tie in a piece of foam. So I am going to use a black 2mm foam, and I'm going to trim it to about 1/4 inch wide by maybe 1.5 inches long, something like that. So this is kind of the size of the foam we're working with. And then what I'm going to do is on this end, I'm just going to trim off the corners to make it a little skinnier so that when we put it on the fly at the very beginning, we have something a little easier to grab onto. So here at the front, I am going to tie in the foam. So just get that front piece down, and then I'm going to push the foam around the hook like so. And I'm going to take it all the way to the back. And then when I come forward, I'm just going to try to re-wrap down those foam pieces that are kind of sticking out or a little high. Just kind of bringing down the profile a hair, but nothing too crazy. So that's that part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ostrich herl dyed in black, and I'm just going to trim up the back of that ostrich herl. That's what the whole piece looks like. And we are going to put it backwards on the hook and tie it all the way down to the back section. All right, so now that we have that ostrich herl in there, I'm just going to progress this line forward to about the 3/4 spot. And then we're going to do a little spinning of the hook here. Got to get it away out of that barb. And stretch my thread out a little bit more. And just kind of bring it up to there, just about. I'm going to do a couple loose wraps with my thread. And then you can either trim or you can rip it off. I usually rip it off, but for this one I'll trim it. Trim it close. There we go. Alrighty, so now we've got the bulk of the body done. I'm going to take this foam piece and we're going to fold it forward. And then we are going to do a couple securing wraps. Again, we're not right at the eye of the hook. We are about 1 eye to 1.5 eyes behind. And I am really cinching it down there, getting it nice and tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the head foam about right at the edge of the eyelet. And then you'll notice that we've got just some edges here. So I'm just going to clean off those points and just kind of turn it into what looks to be a little bit more of a head. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one more leg. This is a medium round rubber again. I am going to take the same length that I used for the loop on the top, and I'm gonna make another loop, but this time I'm gonna cut it in half. So I've got my loop here. I'm gonna just cut that loop. So now I have 2 pieces, and those 2 pieces are now gonna be the 4 legs on top. So I'm just going to lay them down on here on top. I'm gonna do a wrap kind of going from back to front, and then I'm gonna grab those legs and turn them, and I'm gonna go from front to back. And now we've got those fairly secured. You can kind of spread them out, do what you want. I usually take the 2 back legs and then do 1 or 2 wraps, and that'll get those back legs kind of standing up and out of the way, and then just kind of position them where we want them. So now I got the legs on there, and then this next part is what's going to allow us to see the fly. I'm going to take a really thin piece of either foam post, or in my case it's just a foam square in a Hi-Vis color, and I'm going to line up this edge with the very tip of the fly, and then I'm going to go through those middle legs again and get through those others, and I'm just going to center up the foam with a securing wrap, and then I'm going to go back through those legs again just to really sink it down, and one last time really sink it down. So now I've got this like orange piece of foam sticking out the head of the fly that's going to really help us be able to see it, and then all I want to do is just kind of trim there close. So we've got just a little bit of something to help us see this fly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb, I'm going to push the head of the fly back a little, and you can even use your finger, and just do a couple wraps here just to make it tight, and then I'm going to get my whip finish tool in there, and yes, you can. As long as you get the whip finish on the eyelet the first turn, it becomes very easy to get it for the rest of them. So there's my whip finish right there, and just kind of slide that back. I'm going to get that secure, and I'm just going to do 1 more whip finish just for extra security. So there we go, pull tight. Alrighty, and then I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut this close. And then the last part of this fly is going to be just kind of trimming down on the legs here. So I'll probably cut them about the size of a hook length. Maybe a little less, could be a little longer too. Doesn't really matter, your preference or mine. I would say about the size of a hook length, something like that. And that fly right there is pretty much done. That is ready to fish as a dropper. It's ready to fish as its own. These beetles can be super deadly. They're very easy to see. They mimic an ant, they mimic a beetle, but absolutely cool pattern there. And you can tie it up in seconds. So that is a foam beetle. Appreciate you watching here at Catching Colorado, and we will see you in the next fly tying video.
Thanks for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in more relatable content, you can check out these videos right here. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you can stay updated on our next adventures.